Hello crafty people, it's Sharon here, and today I thought I would do a very quick video showing how to colour one of these lovely little mice using alcohol pens. So we're just going to stick to the colouring today, and today I'm going to do a grey mouse, and then I'm going to come back with another video to show you a brown mouse as well. And then I'll do a third video and perhaps make up some cards with the mice that we've coloured, but we're going to keep this video nice and short. The mouse we're going to use is going to be this little guy here, and it's from Lili of the Valley, one of their A5 stamp sets, and it's called Have a Mice Day. So hopefully you'll be able to find that on their website. Because I'm colouring in alcohol pens, I've already gone ahead and stamped my image with a memento ink pad, and that means that the ink of the outline won't run with the alcohol pens. So dye-based ink pad of any type will go with alcohol pens. So we're now ready to begin. I'm going to use my Ohuhu markers, and it's always a good idea when you're colouring with alcohol markers just to put some scrap paper underneath. So that's what I'm going to do now, and what that means is that the ink will naturally absorb through your card and come out the other side. If there's paper underneath, it will absorb into that paper rather than hitting a solid surface and then bouncing back up through the card, which can cause more blurring and spoil your image. So that's always a good tip to think about when you're doing your colouring. Okay, so I've brought the image in nice and close. As you can see, this is quite a small image. It's only sort of 1.5 inches maybe. So I've zoomed it in so you can get a good look at what we're doing. I'm going to make this mouse grey, and I'm using my Ohuhu Honolulu pens to colour him, and those are the brush end pens. I'm going to use 3 shades of grey, and they are CG020, CG050 and CG070. So I'm just going to see if I can bring those in, but I'm so zoomed in you might not be able to see them. There we go. 20, 50 and 70. So I'm going to begin with my lightest colour, and I'm going to start with my ears because they're always a good place to just test things out. If you're not sure how your colouring is going to go, try and find a small area to test out first that will really sort of give you a confidence booster. So I'm starting with these ears, and I'm just running around the outside with my palest colour, which is CG020. I'm then going to come back with my darkest colour, which is CG070, and I'm just going to flick in some dark areas where the ears join onto the head, just like that. And then I'm going to go to my mid colour to start to blend those out towards the centre of the ears. And remember that you need to be comfortable holding your pen and flicking your pen around. So it's a good idea to move your card around to make it easier for you to handle those pen movements. So I'm just dragging from the dark to the light, and now I'm going to go back to my lightest colour, and I'm going to drag again from my medium to my light. And when that all settles and evaporates, we should have a nice little blend from dark to light on the ears. So now we're ready to move on to another area. I think we'll get this little tail out of the way first. So again, complete coating in my light grey, and I'm going to go back to my dark grey. Sometimes I go light, medium, dark. Other times I like to put a bit of dark in at the beginning, and when they're really small areas, it's kind of nice just to get that dark in there. I might have gone a bit far with that one, but it doesn't really matter. This mouse is going to have a dark tail. So that was just touching in with my medium, and now I'm going in with my light, which is just going to fade out that dark colour a little bit. And now we're ready to move on to the body. And when you look at this body, it's actually made up of lots of tiny elements, which does make it a little bit less intimidating. But I am going to go over the whole lot in one go because there's really not that much to it. So a coating of my light colour. I am going to go with my dark colour and just put in my low lights, and I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm barely touching the paper, to be honest. Just put a few little flicks. There we go, just around the edges. And now I'm going to my medium, which is CG050, just as a reminder, and I'm just bringing that colour out a little bit. But because they're such tiny areas, you kind of got to take a little bit of care to make sure that you do leave a light area, you don't lose it completely. There we go. So this is going to be quite a dark grey mouse, I feel. And now I'm going back to my light, and I'm actually going to go over everything, which will in turn fade out those dark areas just a little bit, but still give us some depth of shading. And now we're ready to move on to the face, which is actually the largest part of this character. So I'm going to go and give it a colour all over once again, just avoiding those eyes. Nice coating all over. And once again I'm going to go back to my darkest colour, and I'm going to add some low lights, and I'm just touching very lightly. This is quite a strong dark grey, so I don't want to get too carried away, but I'm just giving that feeling of shadow. And then I'm going to build on that shadow with my medium colour. And if you don't have these exact colours, it really doesn't matter. You just basically want to pick 3 shades of grey in whatever pen type that you've got. So that could be Spectrum Noir, could be Copic, could be, well, anything that you've got really. So that's my mid colour, and I'm trying to keep the face a little bit lighter because I want it to look like the light is shining onto the face. So I've not come in too far with my shade, but I am trying to give that feeling of roundness. What I'm going to do is in the area around the eyes, just leave that with one layer of this pale grey so that it is slightly lighter again. We might come back and rework that in a moment. In fact, I'm just going to go around the edges there just to soften some of that. And I want him to have some little rosy cheeks. So I am going to go with a sort of peachy colour, which is actually E090. So it's called Eggshell White. But it actually has a sort of peachy colour to it, but not luminous, if that makes sense. So it comes out, makes a lovely soft blush, this colour. So I'm just dabbing it generally around the cheek area, and then I'm going to go back with my lighter colour and just dab around the edges, which will soften that out even more. I'm not colouring, I'm literally just dabbing, so we end up with a nice soft cheek there. And I'm going to use that same colour to do the inner part of the ears. So back to my E090. And because it's going onto the white card this time, it's just going to look a little bit brighter. But what I'm going to do is dull that down and add a little bit of shade with my pale grey colour. So CG020. And I'm thinking, where's the shadow going to be? Which I think is going to be near the head. And I'm just kind of making a little kind of L shape or a backward L shape on those ears, and that's really all I need for that. So as quick as you like, our little mouse has come together. We now just need to colour the cheese, and for that I've got 2 shades of yellow, and I'm going to bring in a pencil as well just to finish off the shading. So for the yellows I have got Y1 and Y3, and I believe it's the Y3 that is the lightest colour. So it's not always in number order with you Ohuhu pens. You just have to refer to your swatches, and there you can see that Y1 is actually the darker colour. So I'm going to take my Y3 and just colour the whole of this piece of cheese all over. There we go. And I'm going to add some shadow, not worrying about where the holes are. I'm just adding some shadow onto certain areas of my cheese just to give it some shape. So that's very quick and easy to achieve. Now you can leave it like that, or you can take it a shade further, literally, with some pencil, which you can use to get some very detailed and delicate shading, which will be perfect for the little cheese holes. It really doesn't matter what kind of pencil you use, because we're just using it to add some shading. We're not doing any particular techniques with it. But I happen to have the Ohuhu pencils, and these are wax based. So they're not watercolour, you can't blend them out or anything. They're just wax based pencils, and I think they're perfect for this. So I've gone for a dark brown ochre colour, and I'm literally going to look at my holes and just add some dark shading on the edges, just to give them a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to go in very lightly in what would be the darkest areas of the cheese under the arm of my mouse and down the side here, just to add some extra shading. And I'm not pressing hard, just giving the subtlest hint of that brown, which just takes it down another level. And that's how it's going to stay. I'm not going to add any more to that. So there we have our little grey mouse. If you want to see what he looks like on a card, come back and visit me on my future video, and we'll make him up into a beautiful card. And we're also going to do a video to make a little friend for him in a brown colour. So if you would like to get a look at that one, please come back to me for my next video. Meanwhile, I hope you enjoy your colouring. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to me if you like what you see, and you'll be sure to see plenty more demonstrations. But that's it for me for now, so bye bye.